This is the Red Oliver Show, a special Red Oliver Show as we have finally named ourselves a new manager. Darrell Clarke is now manager of the Reds. A month and a day to the day that Neil Collins got sacked, we have now replaced him with Darrell Clarke. And to discuss his appointment, we've got the usuals here, Andy, Al and Craig. Andy, well, do you know what? We'll be honest. We recorded a show yesterday, and we were talking about
Yeah,
managers' speculation. So when when that show does come out, there might be a little bit of post-production editing that's gone on to just crispen it up a little bit. But we were talking yesterday about the Stendhal news of him signing new contracts, and it seems Darrell Clarke almost from nowhere because we'd had the Thalhammer work permit issues. Stendhal had been rumoured, Richie Wellens, Williamson from MK Dons,
Michael
and I
Duff.
feel there's definitely another one. Michael
Duff.
Duff, sorry, yeah, you just mentioned there. There's been five names, and not at one point has Darrell Clarke's name popped up anywhere. And now he's his new gaffer. So, what's your initial thoughts on it?
I thought it felt like yesterday evening that something might be happening in the next couple of days, and indeed it has. When they suspended all betting on everything, um, because every odds-on favourite didn't come, and we've absolutely no idea how serious we were. If we seriously approached them, we might have had talks with them. Who knows? We don't know, and that's one of the things that we said on the season review that, as you said, we recorded last night. That communications could be better, and I think there's people within the club that understand that it needs to be better. But I'd heard of him. I'd heard of him because I knew he took over at Cheltenham, and I know he'd managed a couple of other clubs. But I didn't know that much about him until we started looking, and our two colleagues and you have got, how do we stats and what have you. But based on it, it looks like from what I've seen and what I've read, that he likes attacking football. He is not rigid he may well play 3-5-2, which is what we've been playing all season, but he can change with it. It seems as though he's willing to change within a game. He's willing to start differently depending who we've got and how we go about things. So he's not rigid. He likes passing football, likes possession football, but not tickling it about at the back. High press, getting at them, high energy, not mucking about. And truthfully, that's what I want to hear. But I thought we heard it a year ago and it didn't happen. So I do expect that this time it'll be right. I've had some private messages. I know the people have had other things. I had a private message from Jake Tong, our friend from the EFL debate and Nappers and stuff. Um, he said we've got a really good appointment there that is ideally suited to Barnsley in the sort of person he is and how he wants to play football. That he'll get stuck in. He's an honest guy. He's not a yes man, and he'll get the players to go at teams. And if they don't, they'll not get on pitch. Basically, is where I think. So it looks all right. You can never tell, can you? Because every time you appoint anybody, whoever they are, it's you do your research and you hope for the best. It feels to me, and I don't want to be accused of being pro the board because we gave him a bit of stick last night in the show that has yet to come out. But it feels that they've done due diligence on this, and hopefully, looks like they may well have got the right person in for the job. So I'm looking for what I'm looking forward to the season, and it gives people a day to get their early bird tickets in. Go on, it makes sense. Get in, and if you want to spend your money on an early bird season ticket, there's some red all over merch you can get as well. So
Guinea pig feed.
spend your money somewhere.
Guinea pig feed. That's it's a little joke. If you watch the next show, it's going to there, you might like. Um, Actually, there's something that I do want to pull up there, which talks about of Jake and Nappers, of that we came second in their awards behind Bolton, which I'll be honest, lads, it's a little bit annoying given that they beat us in the playoffs and now they've beat us in their awards as well. But thank you for thinking of us and also giving us second place. We will be coming for first next season.
We
So
like
thank
that
you for that,
podcast
lads.
though. Considering it's Bolton, Lancashire, Bolton,
What's it
Dark
called, Andy?
Satanic
Because
Mills,
you said it wrong.
Fan
What's it?
Zone Pod. It's the Fan Zone podcast.
No, I meant the one that Jake Tong and Nappers are in.
EFL debate, among other things, with
Not the League One podcast.
There might be all sorts. He's in League One podcast, Jake.
It's because Andy's on so many
That League
different
One
shows,
podcast.
though.
But he's also on Nappers, and he goes on with Gabe Sutton. He's friends with Gabe Sutton. You know.
Anyway, that appointment, Andy's for your 70th birthday present. I sorted it for you, lad.
Next, we'll have you going in box, so we'll start season off with 10 losses in a row, Al, because of you. Al, obviously looking at Darrell Clarke's career, it's not, obviously, if it had been Thal Hammer, we would have obviously had the question marks on over someone coming in. We don't know much about them necessarily, whereas Darrell Clarke, it seems a little bit more of a sure thing. 10 years experience in English football, because doing a little bit of non-league as well. And then obviously he's got the AFL experience with Bristol Rovers, with Walsall, with Cheltenham as well. It seems to come from it's something that's a little bit safer in terms of you've seen someone coming in, they're going to know the leagues, they know the intensity, as opposed to someone that's coming from a different league, different country, that they might have to adapt a little bit.
It is, and he said he wants to get promotion from League One. It's something he hasn't done. He's had a few promotions in the past with other teams, Port Vale, Bristol Rovers. When he took over at Cheltenham, they were struggling. I think when he came in, he got him to win 12, draw 9, got 43 points, nearly kept him up, but they lost 18. And it was tough, but he got him playing and he got him scoring goals. And that's what we want, isn't it, at Barnes? We want to be on front foot, we want to get up there, we want to score goals, we want attacking football. And I think it's a good appointment and it's a good fit. He knows Martin Devaney, and Martin's been keeping him updated on players. So now it's a matter of sorting out that spreadsheet, and hopefully he can have an input into what players he wants as well. Ben Forrester, who sits next to us, who comes from Stoke, used to be a ball boy at Port Vale. And he sent me a message. He says it's a really good appointment. I think he did really well at Vale and played 3-5-2, but can adapt to a 3-4-3. Definitely won't be bored in football like under Collins. He always gives 100% and won't settle for his rotten like we did at back in the last season. And I've heard that, he pushes and he won't have anything else than 110%. So for me, he'll get the lads working and no shirkers.
No, I think that's sort of one thing we do want to see. I mean, you've mentioned there also the Cheltenham record, which I think when you sort of look that we've signed a manager from a relegated club, it doesn't look great to start with. But then when you dig slightly deeper, you don't have to go very slowly on the surface of looking at the fact that prior to it, Darrell Clarke coming in, they'd not scored in 10, no wins in 10. He's starting well behind the 8 ball there, trying to keep up, and to even have a chance of setting up on the last day, he's done well, because he must have carried mid-table-ish form, just below mid-table form throughout that period of him coming in. It would be interesting to see sort of what their form was like, or where they would have finished had he come in like from that period and looking at that sample size. So I'm just going to quickly put the Darrell Clarke stats. So former club, Cheltenham Town, formation, as Andy's mentioned there, it's sort of a variation, 3-5-2, 3-4-1-2, 3-4-3. So it seems very adaptive to the players which he has at disposal. Games managed 467, win percentage 40% or 40.04 if you want to be pedantic, and points per game 1.47, which if you look back to the Thalhammer one is 0.02 more points than him. So slightly more successful when looking at points per game. Craig, how do you feel about this one? Because, as Al's mentioned there, seems like he was someone that demands 110% week in, week out. And as we've mentioned already, high press, hard working, attacking player, and adaptable as well with the size that he's got at his disposal. He's not rigid of this is how I play, this is what we'll do. A little bit of a Val in a way of he saw what he had and just said knock it long and just chase after it, because we can't play really.
Yeah, I said it season review that the big issue with last season was not having a plan B, not being able to break a team down and expecting a team to come on to us and us not having the answer for them sitting back. It seems like he's said that his players are going to give 110%, because running through the brick wall for him is a non-negotiable, which I thought were really good language to use. He wants to get the ball in the box. He'll always find a way to win, scoring goals, being good on the eye, playing entertaining football, getting the fans on the feet. All the language that he's using, I'm liking, because he's on about my staff. my club, and about building my squad, and also using the word that wasn't used much last season, which is promotion. He's used that a hell of a lot, which is meaning that that's his goal. You know, and he's not scared about letting people know that that's what he wants to do. He's coming here to win promotion. He said one of his biggest goals in life is to get promoted out of every single league. In the which I know he's done. He's ticked two of them off. So he just needs. So if he can take us up to Championship and then take us up to Premier League, you know, not looking way too ahead of myself there, but yeah, I like him. I like his attitude. I like his character. He seems to get what we are as a fan base. Seems to get what we want to see. Like I said, we were way too reactive last season. Wanted teams to press us, and it looks like he's not going to be waiting for that. He's going to be like, no, we're going to attack every single team that we come up against, from minute 1 to minute 90. Mladen said in his interview that he wants the way we were against Bolton in the second half. We were ruthless and relentless, pretty much. He said we needed to find a coach that could do that on a consistent basis across the full season in every game. So if they've done the due diligence like we think they have, because it took long enough, that's what we can be expected. That's what we can be expecting. And that, look, we've had a sodden year where we've just been sat down majority of the time just watching this crab football. I swear the language that's coming out looks exciting, and it looks like the right type of guy. It looks the right time for him, the right time for us. Also, he's built teams that's had promotion, so him to come in now before we've signed anybody, that's also good for us, because it means it's going to be every signing now that comes in is his player. He's going to have say, or they say he's going to have say in every single player that comes through. So yeah, there's he's definitely not hiding behind dodging promotion talk or dodging any other sort of narrative. So yeah, he's I'm happy with the guy, to be fair.
And will we see 2 45-minute Reds team show up? That's what I'm looking forward to.
Let's not start asking too much, Al. You know,
I just hope that
we've got a manager before June.
They've done it. It feels like we've all said that they've done due diligence and they've got a head coach that might well make a difference to us in the way that we play and what have you. They will need to back him. I'm not saying that means we've got to spend billions and billions on players, but they've got to back him, whether it's paying a fee for players or whether it's getting good free transfers in or released players and what have you. The need to back him. No doubt he'll have to look at what we've already got, you know, because we know some have left, but what we've already got, and Martin will be able to help him with that. And John Steadywell, I understand, still going to be around. So, you know, there is that continuity. He's not coming in having to know all the players right from scratch. He'll have some stuff that's fed to him by Martin and others. So that's really helpful, and he'll get some understanding, hopefully early on, about what we're going to need with the players that have left, what sort of players we're going to need, so we can start looking at who we're going to sign. And the board have got to back him. There's no point in appointing someone if you're not going to like this, if you're not going to back them.
That's it. It's that's it now. It's offered to the board now. Yeah. The only way he doesn't succeed is if he doesn't get the players he wants. You know,
well, you look at Rotherham's business so far. They've not spent a penny.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? Really.
I wouldn't say unbelievable. It's all right, because my reservations with the dealings that they have done is not one of them players is championship quality yet that they've brought in. They're all good League One, and they'd have to re-sign when they go up again. But the fact they've not paid a penny so far and have got they're at least adding depth to that team is a good point for them and a good thing.
But they're plucking all free agents off at market, and so we're starting a little bit late. I'll just say one more thing about Clarke though, which I think is important. The fact that he's had long tenures at clubs in the past and he's turned down big jobs. He turned down Leeds United when he were at Port Vale.
That's right.
You know, and I mean, we're all still got whiplash from Duff. So, you know, it's nice to see that he's got the potential to turn somebody down.
As long as he doesn't say I'm here for the long haul.
Yeah, don't say that, please.
Don't say that.
I think there's I'm
I hope
just gonna,
somebody's warned him not to say that.
just because you've mentioned it, Craig, actually, and you've talked about this, the speaker promotion and things like that. Do you think, because obviously there's sort of one or two ways in which to go about it. You either ease expectations of like locals coming in, we're just going to feel ourselves out to start with and see where we're sitting. We'll talk about this much further down the line. But the fact is coming and being confident in terms of like that's the aim. We know what we're aiming towards at the minute. Do you think there's a sense of if we don't get that, then it's a failure and is almost like heap too much pressure on straight from the off? Or do you see that as a good thing of like if you come here, you best like this is what the aim is. If that's not you, then see you later.
I think it's what every Barnsley fan will tell you that that's what we want. So it's what we want to hear, but it's also what we should be aiming for. Like abject failure is not even getting playoffs. You know that is something that I don't think we can not do. You know, the size of club we are, we need to be at least playoffs. But it's nice to hear him coming out and being confident about coming out and saying it because Collins never did, and it were like, where are we going? I mean, as a fan, you're looking and you're listening to him, and you're like, well, what is the plan then? Where do you could never get an answer out of him about genuinely where he thought we'd be or whatever. You know, if he thought we were on a playoff team, then said we're heading for playoffs. But you could never get it out of them about exactly where they're expected to be. So it's nice to hear somebody up front, blunt as possible, just saying, look, promotion. That's it. That's what we're
And
going for.
Andy and I are seeing a second Clarke as a Barnsley manager, aren't we, lad?
Well,
We'll get that.
if he's half as good as Alan were in his first tenure with us, that'll do for me because that was some of the best football I've seen when Norman were playing with him, Norman Hunter and Alan Clarke. And he were a player manager. He actually a player manager and all, Josh.
Oh,
he were a star.
think about
Clarke, he were a
worse.
star. Get us some great moments. Some great
Who
moments.
was I've seen it in a thing the other day about when I think Spurs played Man United in a FA Cup final and they had a player manager, Glenn Hoddle. And Alex Ferguson went, as long as you score first, he'll sub himself on, and that's it. We'll win this 4 or 5-0. That happened, and they won 4 or 5-0 because they
it's
couldn't
true
move
that,
anymore. So that's just my thing. I'm just not a big fan of player manager, but you can do both of them things very well.
Gianluca Vialli did well
Clarke.
at Chelsea, I'll have you know.
No,
just to be clear though, Darrell Clarke's not pulling the shirt on.
We'll see. We'll see if we need him a slot to slot in.
Whether we need a player coach, who knows? Who knows what'll happen? Who knows?
One thing, Andy, which I want to build on sort of what Craig said, sort of from that first interview that we've seen with Darrell Clarke so far, is it seems over the last year or so we've struggled to sell the club to some players in terms of signings, and there's been sort of rumours that this person's come in and then they've left and gone somewhere else. For me personally, I think Darrell Clarke's someone that, because he's got a clear goal and objective and sort of, he seems very pragmatic in the way of seeing everything. To me, he seems someone that could sell the club and the progression and what he wants to a player whenever them discussions. Do you get the same feeling from him as well, or have you not seen enough of him yet to sort of have that opinion?
I would suspect from what I've seen and what I've read that he'll be honest with people, you know, with potential players that he talks to. He'll be honest with them. He'll not try and sell them a dream and, you know, sell him some magic beans. He'll sell them the honesty, and that's a good thing. I mean, what you don't want, if you look back when you watch shows like Britain's Got Talent, and you say, you know, you hear them being told, what do you hope to get from this? Do you expect to win? Well, no. Who says? Well, no, not really. You know, I'll just do my best. You want somebody that's going to say, of course I'm going to win. I'm going to win the £250,000. I'm going to be at London Palladium or wherever. Of course I'm going to win. Of course I want to win.
You know a lot about this here, Andy.
I know. It makes me chuckle. I'll tell you something else, because I am getting old, aren't I, Al? I'm as old as Al now, although 4 months less old than Al. But it's for what I do like with it is I'm getting soft. Joe, because whenever after time when Britain's Got Talent on, I know I'm going off a topic here. When I put it on, after time when I start roaring, because there's always a lovely story or a sad story comes on, and I'm down to 3 minutes now before I start roaring about so much. So anyway, so I'm
hoping.
hoping
Title sequence on, innit?
Darrell Clarke. I'm hoping that he's going to be Barnsley's Got Talent, and he brings it to us.
On that note, Andy, when we get promoted, you'll see Andy's tears of a clown.
It does look like a Yorkshire Xabi Alonso and all, though, doesn't it? Yeah. It does have that bit of a look.
You've seen an unbeaten season going on here, Craig.
Yeah, well.
Now
they did all right till European final last night, didn't they?
I mean, to be fair, I'll give them benefit now that they are playing a European final after not losing a game for an entire season. Bound to give at some point. Bless them. Anyone
it's looking positive, I think. It's looking. I don't know what more they can do, because we said earlier that everyth's a gamble. Wherever you point anybody,
no certainties
as a coach, whenever you sign any player, you can sign the best player in the world, but it's always a gamble. But you hope that you've done due diligence, so it's less problematic and more likely to be positive. And this, to me, it's starting to feel more positive, even though truthfully it came from nowhere. And a lot of people were saying, "Oh, we'll not go for somebody who's already a manager because we'll have to pay compensation, and we don't pay compensation. We'll not spend any money." Well, we have.
What he said in his interview as well is getting everybody on the same page, whether it's players, coaches, everything. Another thing I said in review, it seemed like there were a lot of individual performances, and I think that were really detrimental to us last season. So it's nice to see that if you can get everybody on the same page, everybody pulling in the right direction, we might actually get better performances.
No, I wish you stop getting away what's in this season review here, Craig.
It were an hour and a half long. I can't get that much away.
I'll give a spoiler alert and all. Craig, he were a wrong un, Josh. In my recollection, he was
Andy's just mad because he didn't get to use his new bleep machine.
You keep talking about a bleep machine. All I've done is download a sound effect that goes.
You want to use it. I know you do.
I'm going to send it to Josh.
You and your little editor.
Then I'll do one show where all I do is swear, so you'll not hear out I say, because it'll be one long bleep.
Just different tones.
Half an hour bleeping.
Just a different tone instead.
And I'll say, I'm not going to be cancelled. I've got my things to say. You're not going to cancel culture me.
Anyone spot any outrageous predictions out there? I don't know. Anyone want to say Sam Cosgrove's going to score 20 goals this season straight off the bat?
It's funny you should say Sam Cosgrove, because what I've also read from such as Port Vale fans who love him, and some Bristol Rovers and Port Vale especially, were saying what he does like as a target man, getting some crosses across to a target man. So, Cosgrove, he's going to benefit at this rate. He'll benefit from it, because it'd be nice to get somebody, barring Adam Phillips, that can put a cross in that Cosgrove can get his head on.
I will cop to that. I did say pre-show that Cosgrove were going to score 20 goals this season.
I got in it first.
Just because the way I saw Cheltenham play last season, and I know the matches we played against them, the amount of crosses that were put in, I think Cosgrove could have a really good season. So, you know what? I'll stand by it. 20 goals this season.
Phillips and Cosgrove, they're going to come good next season. You just watch this space.
Phillips will stay good. He's already good.
Oh, no, Al said that, so for a fact both of them will be sold by end of August.
Oh, don't.
And he'll tell us he'll tell us he's got it on good authority. That both
horse's mouth.
On deadline day, Mladen, shut your phone off.
We're at Bristol Rovers, so who knows? I will say this about Neil Gaffer though. He's got a winning mentality. And you can hear that and you feel that when he's talking. And if that can transpire to players and to us fans, then we're on to something, I think.
Let's hope, well. Let's not get... I don't want to get too giddy. You're a right pair of giddy kippers, you're two. Obviously, I mean, you're two, not Josh. I'm not talking about Josh, obviously.
Yeah, I'm looking at language used, and I'm looking at what's been said about him, not just what he said, but what's been said about him. Previous clubs love him. Previous fans love him. They never wanted him to leave the club. I mean, Port Vale fans have said it, and so Cheltenham fans liked him when he was there, and so Bristol Rovers fans liked him as well. So it just seems like everybody's got nothing but... I haven't heard anybody say negative about him yet. So, yeah, I'm going to get chipper about it, because last season, Neil Collins came in and nobody knew who he was. Really, so...
I guarantee, Craig, that by the time this show goes out, somebody will have said something negative about him on Twitter.
I'm not going on Twitter.
Ready.
now, Twitter now.
And
It's just full of
nowadays,
Romans.
who we want as a manager? I said an English coach, so I've got my wish.
Yeah, you can't moan out if you do. My favourite part is a tracksuit manager,
Mm.
not a jumper and shirt. Which, after seeing Sean Dyche's transformation after ditching the suit and went tracksuit and won some at 5 pounds. With that.
I know why Al's
Good
happy.
omens.
He's got another picture to pursue.
Oh,
Shaking his hand.
Oh, right. Who do you think's the first person that gets a picture with him?
Al.
Sam,
Al.
Sam Jones.
No, he'll be there first game. He'll
In
be behind
fact,
Dugout.
in fact,
Oi, and Andy, you're going to miss it. I've invited him next Thursday to Luncheon Club.
Luncheon Club
Oh,
going to
no.
mention. Good to see.
Get a photo, Al.
Get
Be,
down in the
be
comments.
Sam Jones and Claire Wilson, because I reckon they'll do for you, Joe. They'll do for him. Honestly, Josh. They'll beat
Andy,
Alan.
Andy,
They are the
they're
best. They're better than Alan.
they're coming to our table instead of you and Sue.
Are they? Oh, dear.
You've been kicked off, uninvited.
Well, this luncheon club, you know, I want to see players bought, not luncheon clubs. I don't want to
that's
know
what I want
about
to
luncheon
see.
clubs. I want to know about play.
We should
I want
stop
to know
asking about
about
Yorkshire
players.
puddings.
Yeah.
Get it
know
down in the
about what's for
comments
pudding.
on when you think what date Al would have got a picture with Darrell Clarke by. Because I reckon we're on 23rd of May now, so I give it for easy before 26th. Before Saturday. They got
I'll
a
say
picture.
8th of July. Just
Oh,
about when first pre-season's kicking off.
Nah, there's gonna be an open training session, I reckon, before that. There'll be an open training session at some point. So 23rd now. Get it down in the comments and we'll look back. If you're correct, we'll give you a shout on the show.
Like Roy Cropper with his trains, isn't he? Al with his Barnsley players.
Right. Anything else you gents want to discuss regarding Darrell Clarke?
Bring it on.
Just give him a chance before we start piling on. Give him a
Back in.
chance.
Agreed. Right.
He deserves to be back. He deserves, because how he's managed and problems what he had at Port Vale, he deserves all the credit and all the praise and all the fans to get behind him.
He
Because it's a
certainly does.
and he's a family man, and we'll back him up all the way. That's my opinion.
Yeah,
I think it will. I think you can see sort of the way in which he plays. We're getting 110 out of everybody week in, week out. That it's something that it's almost as though it not that it doesn't matter if we don't win, but at least you can see the effort or the intensity. Or if we lose a game, and it's one of them where you still there's not going to be unrest about it. We've just been unfortunate not to win it or smash. Have a
He's
game.
just got to make the right substitutions. Right, none of this regimented same players, same minutes every game. You take off who's been playing bad, because the crowd will know because we're watching the game, right? And you give 100% every game, right?
So if you're watching, Darrell,
don't
just
want to
don't bother with
see-
your own
we don't want
subs.
to
Listen
see-
Craig.
We don't want to see 1-0 up, 60th minute, us in a back seven, trying to defend it.
I do.
I don't
And
like last 10 minutes, but I mean,
It's same as Duff said though. You want to see the players leaving the sweat on the field and giving it all. As I said last season, it was 45 minutes and 60 minutes. We never saw a full 90. If they give everything for 90 minutes, even if they don't win, then that's all we want as fans, to see them give everything on that pitch.
You see, I've got a simpler wish than your lot. I just want to have a player on back stick for corners. It's not too much to ask when we've got 11 in box. Just one up back stick.
being good at set pieces, that'd be magical. That would.
I'd prefer us to leave a striker out as an outlet.
Yeah.
Can I just say there's Matt Roberts as well? If you know,
No,
we need a
let's not
centre-back.
stop. Let's pack it in. Right,
like
that's
Matt
it now.
Roberts.
We've signed a manager that's not managed for us before. Let's also pack it in with players coming back.
On a whole hand, you know.
Picture this.
I just
No.
put this. He has having a house built, Penistone End. It's going back home, so I know
Picture
that.
this, Craig. We've got a tall target man that you're saying is going to score 20 goals. We've got Adam Phillips whipping crosses in front right. We've got Luca Connell can whip him in front left, and Conor Horahan who could whip him in from anywhere. It's a dream team, isn't it, Craig?
Set
Don't
piece will be
let
deadly
Josh
with
put you
Matt
down.
Roberts up there with Cosgrove.
Long
Matt-
throw to his head.
defense.
In all
Rolling-
fairness, Matt Roberts has got a rate throw on him.
Look, rolling back the ears. That's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, I just don't think Matt Roberts, Donovan Pines, and MDG back three is going to work. I think it might be slightly imbalanced
Yeah, I agree.
on that. Although maybe a decent player to have a bit of experience, but it's just not for me re-signing players. Although Adam Animal worked an absolute
Did Josh
delight.
Earl in that lot for
Yeah,
me? Did Josh Earl for me on left?
He's still playing and all.
Yeah.
Like I saw Adam Hamill.
Oh yeah, he is. He wants to do his. I think he does some coaching at the minute. I think he
We
wants.
need wingers. You
come
said
back.
we need wingers.
I'd have him in as a player coach.
Yeah, I think we missed that last season, having that player that can just
Anyway,
drive
lad,
with the ball.
Yeah.
New fresh beginnings. That's what it is. New fresh beginnings at Oakwell.
I'll tell you what, I don't mind that segue to.
Don't be doing that. Us when we're playing, things can only get better in the background, just like Rishi.
In pouring
In the
rain.
rain.
That's
For a new prime minister, that's what I said on show.
That
Sorry.
didn't work well either.
Yeah,
It's all right, but the fact that you could hardly hear the Darth Vader music being played before he come out, I mean, that was magical. That was just sublime.
there was some serious editing of that season review show.
It'll be about,
It needs to
that
be
season review we did last night will be about 3 minutes long.
done. Very trimmed down for the hour and a half. It shouldn't be. Right. Surprisingly, there's a season review show coming out at the weekend.
What's left of it?
That's been moved. Yeah, what's left of it, which it was over an hour, which after looking at it again, probably around 25 minutes tops. So that will be out over the weekend. We will also be doing a part 2, which will release next week as well. Some special guests in that one as well.
Wrong uns. I've seen them. I know they are the wrong uns.
Oh,
it's B
apart from one
team.
of them.
B team.
B team.
It's just 23s. If you three very careful, because if one of them has a good performance, that's it. You'll be in 23s next season.
Craig, don't worry.
He's moving it, lads, to a plan B.
I am.
We'll only be out at 60 minutes, Craig. Don't worry.
Just swapping you in and out up for prediction bit, because you're going to say 2-1. So you'll be coming out for that bit. So a bit of variety.
I'll try not to cry.
Why is Britain's Got Talent on?
Might be.
Never know. Right. We'll be back at the weekend with a season review. You Reds.